Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Minnesota Twins.
It's a beautiful spring afternoon in Atlanta where the Twins look for a little payback against the Braves. It's a series finale inside Truist Park presented to you by Progressive. Hi everyone, welcome to Atlanta. I'm Audra Martin. After a couple of really good wins against the first place Mets, it looked like this series against the Braves was the perfect opportunity for Minnesota to really finally turn things around. However, now they find themselves in a position where they are just looking to end this series on a high note. So here's a couple of quick hits to keep in mind for Game 3. It has been quite a weekend for 22-year-old Luke Keeschel. 2 games into his big league career, he has 3 hits, 2 of which were for extra bases, 2 RBI, and a stolen base. He's just the 3rd Twin ever to start his career with a double in each of his first 2 games. Things continue to trend in the right direction for Carlos Correa. C4 worked a full count last night before taking Chris Sale deep for his first home run of the season. He now has 5 doubles, a home run, 3 RBI, and an .874 OPS in his last 10 games. And on the mound, the Twins will wrap things up with the Joe Ryan experience. Ryan is coming off another really good outing, just 1 run on 5 hits with 8 strikeouts against those first place Mets. He also has 23 strikeouts to just 2 walks this season, the 3rd best ratio among all starting pitchers in baseball. So coming up, it is one final battle here in Atlanta. The Twins and Braves series finale gets underway next on Twins TV.
Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. Visit progressive.com. And by Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Progressive. Final game of this series. Twins head home and looking for happy flight back into Twins territory, looking to salvage this series today. Our weather report is brought to you by Builders and Remodelers. Another lovely day, partly cloudy skies on this Easter Sunday. Temperatures in the high 70s. Rocco Baldelli and the Twins 3-9 on the road this season. The Twins, the last time they fell 8 games below 500 was the end of the 2021 season. Looking to avoid that from happening today. The Twins at 7-14 entering this series finale. The Twins lineup is brought to you by Menards. Eddie Julien at the top. Byron Buxton has had a great series. Big game last night. Ty France, Trevor Larnach. Carlos Correa homered last night despite the loss. Ryan Jeffers, Luke Keeschel, his third straight start. Brooks Lee at third. Harrison Bader is in left field, and he will bat ninth. And on the mound for the Braves is righty Grant Holmes.
Yeah, making his fourth start of the year, fifth appearance. He was very good his last time out in Toronto, 7 2/3 innings. Threw a ton of cutters in that outing. His slider has been his best pitch so far this year. It's his main strikeout pitch. High rate of curveballs, more curveballs than anything else to the left-handed hitters. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys approach it. Do they sit off speed or do they look for that first fastball they can crush? The strikeout pitch is the breaking pitches, so watch that as the game goes along. And then on the defensive side of things for the Braves, Verdugo again in left. Michael Harris made a couple of game-changing plays in last night's ball game in center field. Kelnick, Riley, Nick Allen, Pickett at short. We got Albies, and of course Matt Olson. Pencil his name in every day in the lineup at first base. And then different catcher behind the plate, Drake Baldwin making his first start of the series.
Holmes, a low first pitch strike rate. Let's see how Eddie Julien attacks him to begin play today. If Eddie is aggressive, or does he see if Holmes can throw one in the zone? And the first pitch, Eddie is swinging and fouls it back. And with that, we're underway here in Atlanta.
Yeah, the walk number's up this year for Holmes, but 2 outings where he's had 4 walks, uncharacteristic for him. He's usually around the plate, usually around the zone. See if he's able to settle in a little more in this outing.
That's a good take by Julien. Off speed from Holmes, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Eddie in the leadoff spot, 6th time he's done that. To begin the game, Julien 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts when leading off a game. And now it's 1-2.
That's that curveball. Sits right around 83, 84 miles an hour. Fastball is going to top out at 95. The changeup's right around 90. Slider right around 91. So everything's pretty firm coming at you.
The curveball's been a strikeout pitch to lefties. Fastball there, and Julien fouls it back. And still 1-2. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. Morning brought to you by Toyota.
Yeah, score more than 3. 7-5 record when scoring 3 or more runs. Going to struggle in the games where they haven't been able to put up runs. Obviously tough to win ball games if you're not scoring more than 3, so you can set the tone early.
Did not chase the slider that time. 2-2. The slider from Holmes, one of the best pitches going in the game in terms of slider usage. +4 run value. Only former Golden Gopher Max Meyer, now with the Marlins, has a better slider right now in the game. And Julien now not expanding. 3-2 count.
A good job of laying off those pitches below the zone. See if he goes back to it. What is he like here after all those sliders?
3-2 on Eddie. And a fastball 95 right down the middle. So Julien strikes out, and there is 1 out. Welcome to the booth, everybody, and happy Easter Sunday to all of you, and thank you for joining us. Corey Provis, Justin Morneau. Big one today for the Twins. Like Audra mentioned, Morty, yes, the Twins' momentum entering the series, winning that series with the Mets, but back-to-back losses here at Atlanta.
Yeah, tough ones, too. Led in both games and had a chance to be up 2-0 in this series. Unfortunately, down 0-2, but those are in the past, and the only thing you worry about is today's ball game, and hopefully Buck can come out with the same energy he had last night, because he did everything in his power to be a difference maker in that game, try and help his team win, almost will him to win. And when he's on base, when he's flying around the bases, he's firing everybody up, but he's going to need some help from his teammates around him as well.
Georgia native Byron Buxton has never homered in his career off Atlanta pitching. A low strike goes Holmes' way, and it's 0-2 on Byron. Buxton has reached base 23 times this season, and he has scored 16 runs.
Yeah, he's been aggressive on the bases. He's been aggressive, put pressure on infielders, taking extra bases.
Now Buxton, all 3 hits last night with 2 strikes and a fastball again. Locks up a Twins batter. So 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts so far for Grant Holmes.
Yeah, just kind of lull him to sleep with that good slider, breaking balls, and then well-located fastball that started actually in off the plate. pretty high spin rate on that fastball, so it's going to stay up in the zone a little bit longer than what you're used to seeing.
Holmes is coming off his deepest start of his career in Toronto back on April 14th. 7 2/3 innings. Gave up 3 runs, struck out 4. And what turned out to be an 8-4 Atlanta win over Toronto. 2 balls and no strikes now on Ty France.
It's an interesting story. 10 years in the minor leagues before he made it to the big leagues. Good story and perseverance. Twins did see him in relief last year in August.
And the pen in the rotation throughout 2024 and a starter here in 2025. And he figured to be in camp kind of an option to start in the rotation until Spencer Strider came back. But now with Ronaldo Lopez out with a bad shoulder, Holmes is here to stay. 3-1. Trevor Larnach hoping for a chance. He would bat next. France hitless in the series. He's 0 for 6. He has walked twice and now 3-2. All right, so as a hitter, Morty, you saw your teammates. He went 2 strikeout to get Julian and Buxton. What is Ty sitting on here?
I think you're still fastball through the middle part of the field, just giving yourself a chance after you locked up 2 previous hitters.
This one cued wide of first. Matt Olson there and feeds his teammate. And a broken back ground out and a 1-2-3 start for Grant Holmes. There's a look at Braves manager Brian Snitker, whose team won back-to-back games for the first time all year, and now 10 straight wins against the Twins. Atlanta. That dates back to 2019. The Braves lineup is brought to you by Ford. Alex Verdugo, a 4-hit night last night, leads off again today. Austin Riley, Marcell Ozuna, Matt Olson playing in his 641st straight game today. Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris II. Rookie Drake Baldwin behind the plate. Nick Allen, Jared Kelnick round out the starting 9, and Joe Ryan on the mound today for the Twins. As Verdugo steps in and down a strike.
Yeah, he was good his last time out against the Mets. A little high pitch count in that one. Didn't allow him to pitch deep into the game. 27 pitches in the first. So see if he can come out of here, have an efficient first inning, set the tone, get the boys back in the dugout.
And Verdugo to shallow right. And this will be routine for Trevor Larnach.
And everything plays off of his 4-seam fastball. He's got that unique lower arm slot. Ball carries through the zone really well. And then he's really worked on the secondary stuff. That splitter to the lefties has been a very good pitch. The sweeper has been good for him this year. Slider, and then throwing that sinker a little more often, trying to get in on the right-handed hitter's hands. Just a different look, another pitch for them to think about. And hopefully he pairs that really well with that sweeper, so he's going east-west a lot of the time now to the righties, and then he always has that 4-seam fastball he can hit at the top of the zone when he needs it.
Strikeout Austin Riley, 1 for 9, 4 strikeouts in this series. That will go foul. You mentioned the sweeper for Ryan. Joe in that start on Monday against the Mets had do 16 swing and misses. 7 of the 16 came with his sweeper. So some options here for Ryan. Jeffers sets up away, and the pitch is...
Wow.
Ooh, should have been strike 3. Fastball top of the zone, but did not get the call. Still 1-2 on Riley.
And see, the only thing about not getting that call, then it adds to the pitch count. Pitch count starts to pile up. It just everything that trickle down effect that happens when you throw a pitch in the zone. You got to be mentally tough out there when it doesn't go your way.
Charlie Ramos behind the plate and again doesn't get the call, and Ryan takes off his cap. Those are 2 good pitches. And Ramos has missed 2, and he turns towards the Twins dugout. Some early chirping from the third base side.
I mean, you got to have that. And an at-bat that should have been over 3 pitches ago is now still going.
Charlie Ramos behind the plate. Crew chief is Alfonso Marquez at first. Lance Barrett, Carlos Torres. Now a full count. Ryan did walk 2 in his last start. First 2 walks Ryan issued all year. And he struck him out at 95. So Ryan eventually strikes out Riley. Some extra pitches were needed. And there's out number 2. See Ryan. Let's take a look at the rest of the Twins defensively here for game 3.
Kersey banged up, had to leave the ball game last night. We got Bader in left, Buxton, Larnach in right, Brooks Lee at third, Correa, Julian in at second with Keishel doing the DHing today, and then Ty France and Jeffers behind the plate.
And there is Eddie back at second base today as Marcell Ozuna takes inside for a ball. Ozuna did not play against Toronto before this series started due to a bad hit, but he's had a good week here against the Twins. Good weekend. And now it's a 1-1 count. Ozuna among the best in baseball right now in terms of pitches seen per plate appearance, on base percentage, walks. 34-year-old veteran, free agent at season's end. 1-2.
It's interesting to see this Atlanta approach. Joe Ryan looking, maybe recognizing that they're looking for something else, just filling up the zone with fastballs. I mean, he threw 6 fastballs for strikes in the Riley at bat, just reaching back and letting it eat.
Missed away, now 2-2. Ryan making his second ever start here in Atlanta. Hoping this one goes better than it did back in June of 2023 when he allowed 5 home runs. Now the 2-2 and a full count to Ozuna.
It was an interesting start for him. That was the one where he admitted later that kind of tweaked his groin warming up for that game. Said his arm felt fine. He went out there and pitched and then didn't have a very good day.
And there's ball 4. So Ryan loses Ozuna. So talking about Ozuna's skill set, seeing pitches, drawing walks, and he does exactly that, and that'll give Matt Olson a chance to bat here with a man on in the opening inning. See the note, Olson surpassed 1,000 career hits last night. 3 hits in the series. He has walked twice. He's knocked in 2.
Jeffers looks like he's maybe getting a little frustrated back there with the zone as well. And Jeffers will go in and ask, hey, where were those pitches at? We'll get a printout, be able to look at the sheet, and then you have a good rapport with that home plate umpire. You come back and go, hey, you missed a couple in that Riley at bat at the top of the zone. I got to have those, or you'll have a conversation, something along those lines with the home plate umpire.
And that will get fouled. 2-1 now on Olson. Atlanta native.
You wouldn't go back and say, I looked at the printout sheet, you got it wrong. You say, hey, I just took a look at, because sometimes the umpires will say, hey, can you have a look at that for me? See, where'd you have that? And, you know, you don't want to start off the game with the catcher barking at you from the first or second batter, but there is that communication. Hey, you know, we probably had a couple in that at bat, so, you know, if he goes there again, just, hey, he's got a good fastball. He likes that four seam at the top of the zone. Maybe the umpire's not as familiar with that guy on the mound, and all right, he's going to keep going there. I need to have that pitch. So sometimes you can be a little more forceful with it, but it's all about doing it in a respectful way. So those guys want to do the best job they can behind the plate as well.
Ryan, not sure if he's here in PitchCom right now. He just told Jeffers, hey, let's just maybe go to something else here. So Jeffers now on his feet.
Just launched the PitchCom all the way to the dugout.
It's an experience. Audra said at the top of the telecast, it is a Joe Ryan experience when this guy has the ball.
I think part of that was just the frustration of feeling like he's made a lot of good pitches, and the pitch count is already at 21. So it's like should have been a couple of quick outs to start it. Mentioned off the top, 27 in the first inning of his last start.
Runner goes. Olsen bangs one to right center field. In the gap. Buxton on the move. He'll turn, and that is gone. Matt Olson strikes again. A first inning, two-run homer. And the Braves have a quick 2-0 lead.
This ball hit right off the top of the wall and got out of the ballpark. Just a fastball pretty much right down the middle. Joe Ryan's going, I remember this from my last start. Hopefully that's the last one of those I see leave the ballpark.
It's the first home run that Ryan has allowed to a left-handed batter this season. Just the second extra base hit he has allowed to a left-handed batter. And a two-out home run for Matt Olson. Olson made his debut with the A's in 2018, and in that time frame he leads all of baseball with now 681 RBI. Strike on Ozzie Albies, and now it's 0-2.
You know, a lot of people say RBIs are a product of opportunity, which in a lot of ways they are, but he's made that opportunity available to himself by being on the field for so many straight days.
This one flipped into left field, shallow, and will land in front of Bader. Down 2 strikes, just trying to make contact, and Albies was able to do just that and flip it into left field for a 2-out single.
It seemed like the Twins have given up a disproportionate amount of 2-strike hits. Last night's ball game got hurt a lot with 2 strikes, but the reality is they've actually been one of the better teams in baseball when they're pitching with 2 strikes.
And to your point, allowing a 145 batting average against with 2 strikes, which is 6th best in baseball. But yeah, last night that was the key to the Braves' 4-3 win, 2-strike hitting.
And on the offensive side, Twins hitters as well. One of the better 2-strike hitting teams across the game. So just stands out a little bit more when you're struggling as a team sometimes.
Michael Harris the second, now with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He always makes an impact when these two teams play. And that's been the case again this weekend, especially last night. 2 great running catches in center field, back-to-back hitters, Buxton and then Kershaw. And then he led off the bottom half of the inning and hit the second longest homer of his career that tied the game off Woods Richardson in the 6th inning. So Ryan approaching 30 pitches here in the opening inning. The 2-1, that'll slice foul.
It was just so interesting in last night's ball game with Twins went with the opener with the goal of not having Simon Woods Richardson face that top part of the order 3 times, and then it ended up being the bottom part of the order that he saw for the 3rd time that ended up doing the damage. And Harris hit 7th last night, hitting that home run. So you had a plan, and unfortunately it didn't work out. You got a little deeper into the game, but same result as you had the night before. And it's just been a battle trying to find ways to win ball games. And you know, Rocco talked last night about he was proud of the effort and the compete, but just still wasn't enough.
I'll mention that Michael Harris II coming off a huge game. Let's take a look at his play last night, beginning first defensively.
Yeah, ball Buxton hit out there. Buck got the first one over his head for a triple. This one he ran down, was a sacrifice fly, and then Luke Keeschel drove a ball in the gap, and then there was the no-doubter.
This one chopped to first, and Ty France will take it to the bag, and that ends a lengthy first inning for Joe Ryan. And the Braves strike for 2 on a Matt Olson home run. Third home run this season for Gold Glove winning first baseman Matt Olson. 2-0 Atlanta. And now the Twins will bat here in the second. Trevor Larnach quiet last 10 games. Only 1 extra base hit. That was a home run here on Friday night. And he swings at the first pitch and lines out here in the second. Let's go back to Monday night, Morning, for a second here with Joe Ryan. You mentioned that he had a lengthy first inning through, I think it was 27 pitches. And then went to the dugout, quick sip of water, but his teammates, they went up and down quickly against Clay Holmes on Monday.
It's such a hard balance when you're struggling as an offense. You don't want to give up pitches, but at the same time, you know, your guy was out there working, pretty warm today. And Carlos takes a pitch. Well, consistent. Neither guy getting that pitch at the top, so if that's how it's going to be, that's how you prefer it to be. If neither guy's getting it, right, that's what the zone is set as today.
To center and playable for Harris II. So 3 pitches thrown by Holmes here in the inning and quickly 2 down.
Yeah, Joe Ryan's barely had time to catch his breath over there. Same thing with Jeffers working behind the plate. Long bottom of the first. He's trying to figure out how to get his starter through that start. Now he's got to go up and take this at bat. Not sure how much thought he has of trying to protect his guy.
Yeah, this is that interesting spot for a catcher. You know, yeah, Jeffers offensively, it's been a rough start, but he also has the responsibility behind the plate to look out for the guy on the mound.
And it's tough because, you know, you're probably only getting 2 at-bats off the starter unless he's absolutely dealing. And you might get 1 fastball to hit. So you go up there, you get a pitch like Larnach got. He just missed it. Correa just missed it. It's not like you go up there and take and you fall behind on a guy who throws a ton of curveballs, a ton of sliders. Slider's been the best pitch. So your approach is, I want to get a fastball in the zone. I want to put a good swing on it and see if I can drive it somewhere. And it's hard to balance that between my starter had a long inning. What can I do to help him out? Jeffers getting into this at bat a little bit more.
The catching tandem of Ryan Jeffers and Christian Vasquez, not much so far in offense. 28th right now in OPS. The Twins are getting from their catching tandem. This one punched to shallow center field, but Ozzie Albies will drift out and make the play. And 6 up, 6 down, 8 pitches thrown by Grant Holmes, and Joe Ryan, after being on the mound for 12 minutes, is coming right back out with the Twins down 2. Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Back here in Atlanta on this Easter Sunday, beautiful Truist Park opened up in 2017. The Braves 5-2 so far at home. They're 7-13 overall, but playing much better thus far at their own ballpark and have a 2-0 lead as Bryant is back out looking for a quick and efficient bottom 2.
It's tough that last inning. After that strike 3 that wasn't called to Austin Riley, he threw 26 more pitches. Now, how much the non-calls affected the rest of the inning, hard to say. It can kill the momentum. It all adds up to 132 pitches in his last 6 innings. That is, wow, a lot. And he's going to continue to battle, you know that.
There's rookie catcher Drake Baldwin, the Braves' #1 prospect. Had the game-winning hit on Friday, but pops this one up. And Brooks Lee in foul territory makes the play for out number 1. Take a look at our hot corner note. Joe Ryan, 13 pitches in the strike zone have been called balls so far this season, 8th most in baseball. Shortstop Nick Allen has taken over the primary responsibilities at short for Orlando Arcia. Allen just outperforming Arcia.
He made some plays last night that were impressive. LaTroy Hawkins texted us before the game, said he scouted him when he was in high school. He said he had the best hands of any high school shortstop he's ever seen. It was on display last night.
Braves picked him up at a trade from the A's in November. And Ryan again with a stare. That one did look outside, but a 2-1 count now to Allen. Allen, 26 years old. Struck him out. Good breaking ball there. There's the sweeper that induced so many swing and misses against the Mets. He induces one there against Allen.
Good job here of reaching back on the previous pitch and then a lot of horizontal on that.
Highest whiff percentage on sweepers this season. Joe Ryan, 4th best in baseball.
Which, think of where he was at off-speed wise, breaking ball wise when he first came up to compared to where he's at now. To think that that pitch has become such a good weapon for him.
And a 2-out base hit to right for Jarred Kelenic. Now 3 for 7 in this series. Kelenic batting 9th for the 3rd straight game. And that'll bring up Alex Verdugo, and he is the subject of today's Home Depot Who is Getting It Done. Well, Verdugo forever has been getting it done against Twins pitching, no matter what jersey morning he's been rocking.
Yeah. I don't know if it's something about his mom being from Minnesota and ice fishing with his grandpa in the winter there, or what, his connection to ties to Minnesota. A little extra motivation, but he has had plenty of success against the Twins.
Signed very late in camp towards the end of spring training, a 1-year deal. He was with the Yankees last year. He's only 28. Really signed for insurance until Ronald Acuna Jr. is back off the IL, but it's been a blessing in some ways with Jurickson Profar out 80 games because of a PED suspension. And so Verdugo, he's seeing regular time in left. Michael Harris II in center. And Jarred Kelenic holding down right until Acuna is back, and the Braves hope that is next month.
And a lot can happen between now and then. The game has a funny way of figuring out playing time and opening up spots when guys are ready to play.
0-2, ground ball left side, base hit. A rare 0-2 hit allowed by Ryan, and on to third advances Kelenic, and here come the Braves, and there is Verdugo. And we've seen that swing forever. 2-strike swing, put the ball in play, and the Braves are in business.
Yeah, just getting on top of that high fastball. It almost looked like about a 70% effort on that swing, just making sure he's moving the ball forward, getting to the barrel to it. And Kelenic going first to third on that play.
So now Austin Riley. 8-pitch at bat, and Ryan eventually struck out the Atlanta third baseman. Base hit to left. Kelenic scores. Bader cuts it off near the track. Verdugo will go to third and stop. It's an RBI single for Riley. 3 straight hits. 3-0 Atlanta.
All those fastballs he threw him that first time up and throws him a first pitch sweeper. That didn't have that same movement that we saw in Allen's at bat with that strikeout. That one kind of stayed more towards the middle of the plate. Bader does a good job of cutting that ball off and holding Riley to a single, but that'll bring Pete Mackey out of the dugout.
Now the Braves, a frustrating start to their season before this series. Atlanta came in last place in the National League East, run scoring down, many offensive numbers down. With the rally on Friday night, as Atlanta's season plays out, they may look back at that game on Friday as the catalyst. Morty, down 3, bottom 8, score 5 en route to a 6-4 come-from-behind win here against the Twins on Friday night.
It was kind of the character win that the Twins have been looking for. There's so much talent on this roster. People still picking Atlanta as a playoff team, even though their record is below 500. So you figure they're going to hit at some point. Track record of so many of these guys in this lineup.
Ozuna walked and scored on Matt Olson's first inning home run. And it's 0-2. Sinker. Something that Ryan has added this season. Jeffers now out in front of home plate. Ozuna, he is the day in and day out DH with this Braves team when healthy. In Toronto, Atlanta did use both catchers, both Sean Murphy and Drake Baldwin. One to catch, one to DH while Ozuna was out. Grounded third base and foul. Now the Braves, though, 7 straight playoff years. And they have won 10 straight against the Twins. Twins have lost 10 straight to Atlanta. Also an active 10-game losing streak to Baltimore. Again, the 0-2 pitch. This one will stay fair. High hop played by Lee. Gonna sling it across, and the inning is over. But the Braves add another run and have a 3-0 lead after 2. Twins will have the lower third coming up in the 3rd inning. We'll keep it here. And while we have some time, let's check in downstairs with Audra Martin.
Well, guys, considering the great start of his season, we figured it's a really good time to get to know Luke Keeschel a bit better. He grew up in California and says his favorite team was Oakland. However, his favorite players were Derek Jeter and Mike Trout. He hasn't met either one of those players yet, but we said maybe we can help him out. We may have to work on that. He has a lot of talents, obviously, and that includes the ability to do a backflip. When I asked if he could prove it, he understandably quickly responded by saying no, thank you. If he wasn't playing baseball, he says he would probably be a firefighter or a Marine. Now, that last one makes sense because he actually has some experience. During his sophomore year of college, he was up early for a workout and happened to look outside and notice that his neighbor's house was on fire. After calling 911, he sprang into action, climbing up onto the roof with a fire extinguisher in hand. His roommates tossed him 2 more extinguishers, and by the time the fire department arrived, the fire was pretty much gone. A couple of months later, the team had their end of the year award ceremony, and the San Francisco fire chief was on hand to recognize him for his heroic effort, guys.
Story, Audra, and good to see those photos. And what'd you call him earlier, Morty?
Captain America.
Captain America. There you go.
Impressive.
Very cool. So maybe a firefighter one day. That's the plan still for our buddy Taylor Rogers to follow in his family's tradition.
Well, he's going to get himself an at-bat leading off the 3rd inning.
Something that he did often last year at AA Wichita, playing for now first base coach Ramon Borrego. Primary leadoff man for AA Wichita last year. There is Borrego. Both guys in the show for the first time, and how cool that they're doing it together this weekend. Keeschel DHing as Holmes misses high, ball 1. Now, speaking of that AA time, this was just last year, AA last year. After a ball game, after win, Borrego managing the sounds. Handshake for his leadoff hitter, DH second baseman. And they got a chance to congratulate each other. And now Keeschel has another hit as he is 4 for 10 to start his big league career. And now we'll see those two get together once again.
Wonder if Wilson's going to tell him to retire now. You're never going to hit 400 in the big leagues either. After his first hit the other night, he said, "You're hitting 1,000, time to retire, kid." Does a nice job of going up there prepared, understanding Holmes likes to go to that slider a lot to right-handed hitters. Just an approach through the middle. A lot of hits still available there.
Running game should be in play today. Drake Baldwin behind the plate. His bat has been great, but in terms of throwing out base runners, Morty, the numbers are not that strong.
Yeah, 12 stolen bases, 1 caught stealing. Braves in general have struggled and allowed 30 stolen bases and only caught 4.
Keeschel stays as Lee looks at strike 1.
I'm talking to C.J. Nikowski, does the color for Atlanta. So is that on the pitching staff or is that on the catching? He said, maybe a little bit of both. Guys not holding the runners as well as they could. But down 3, you got to be sure that you're not going to run tentatively, but if you feel like you can get a good jump, you go ahead and take it. Maybe create a little bit of a spark as the leadoff hitter. Maybe pick a breaking ball down. So I think it's important when you get in the box to know what the guy's featuring, but also if you're a base runner, when does he go to that curveball. Does he throw it more 0-2? Does he throw it more 1-2? If you can pick a breaking ball to run on, it's very hard for a catcher to throw you out. But if he's a guy who's, you're facing a guy, say Joe Ryan on the other side, loves that high fastball, a lot of strikeouts with his fastball, that's a pretty good pitch for a catcher to throw on. So as important as it is as a hitter to know what that pitcher's throwing, it also applies when you're on base as well.
Runner stays, the 2-2 chopped to Riley. He'll go to second, and there's one there. Return throw not in time. So Keyshaw forced out, but Lee beat the return throw. It's a fielder's choice. The Twins have a man out, now one out. Hey, we're talking about Double-A Wichita, where Keyshaw was last year. Let's stay in the minor leagues, and currently on that roster at Double-A is Connor Prielipp, former high draft pick out of Alabama, back from Tommy John surgery, and man, is he throwing well. He was throwing well during spring training over the minor league side, and a good start, Morty, to his pro season.
He is nasty. I was watching the highlights last night. Look at it, I'm going, okay, there's no radar gun showing up on the screen. How hard is he throwing? I figured it was a 93. These guys are taking fastballs in zone. 97 from the left side with that slider that he features. Just want him to stay healthy and hope at some point during the year you'll be able to feature that arsenal that he's got in the big leagues.
Now, the Twins are pitching him once a week right now in the minor leagues. There are some guys like Marco Raya this year. The plan more to throw Tuesday and Sunday. Look out, Bader, as he'll back away 2-1.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the minor leagues, every Monday is an off day, so they play 6 games a week. And so some teams will make sure that one starter gets 2 starts in a week, and then a way to protect guys with that off day, knowing every week that you're going to make 1 start.
Yeah, so Prielipp, he's on that plan to throw once a week. Now 3-1 on Bader, with Julian on deck.
There's people that have talked about maybe that being an issue of guys coming up to the big leagues and not being prepared to play 10, 12 days in a row because they're used to that 1 day off every single week. It's guaranteed. You don't really have to go through that grind. In the minor leagues, at least when I was there was no rules. In the big leagues, you cannot play more than 19 days in a row. In the minor leagues, you can play as many days in a row as you want. There was times we played 31 days in a row, followed by 30 in a row in the middle of summer. Minor leagues didn't want to miss any of those gates in July and August.
That's low ball 4. Good take by Bader, so Lee was not running. And the Twins have 2 on with 1 out. As the lineup turns over now for Eddie Julian. The Twins last night 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. A costly stat when you lose a game, especially by 1 run.
Yeah, Eddie had long at bat the first inning. Saw everything that he's featuring, so maybe it'll help him in this plate appearance.
Struck out looking out a fastball. Mid-90s from Holmes, and now ahead ball 1. Holmes has been at his best first time through the order. The hits do pick up the second time they have seen him this year. This one hit weakly past the mound. It'll be Olson, the first baseman, coming over and making the play. Gold Glover there in Matt Olson, and credit Holmes for not wasting any time. He saw that scoot by the mound, and his destination was first base.
That was a similar play that cost the Twins some runs the other night. Griffin Jax was just a little bit late getting over on a ball that Ty France made a play on, and ended up leading to an inning that cost him some runs. And Olson going after that ball, and Holmes doing the right thing, getting himself in a spot to record an out.
Big spot here for Byron Buxton. And a healthy cut on a fastball, 0-1. .353 with runners in scoring position. Inside to even up the count. Byron now brings energy, and we saw that last night. Triple.
As much as I've seen him kind of urge his teammates on, he's been here a long time. He does not want to go through a losing season. He's been battling. I mean, effort-wise, every time he takes a trip around the bases, going down the line, it's almost like, hey, let's get this thing going. He's trying to fire his teammates up, and obviously it helps when you're getting on base a lot and you're swinging it the way he has over the last little while.
Down 1-2, and the pitch is just inside.
Good take.
Baldwin set up away, came back in. Did he?
No.
He did. Rung up at home by Charlie Ramos. No help, and Buxton strikes out, and the Twins leave 2 in scoring position. Atlanta on top 3-0 as the Braves will send hitters 4, 5, and 6. Matt Olson hit a 2-out, 2-run homer off Joe Ryan. In the opening inning, he'll lead off the third as Ryan with a breaking ball for strike 1. Atlanta native Matt Olson. This is year 4 of an 8-year contract he signed after he was acquired by Atlanta from Oakland to come back home. On the ground at first, Ty France to the backhand side feeds Ryan. And there's out number 1. Well, you call the shots. You can customize your season with the My Twins Choice membership. Select your games and seats, plus get up to 25% savings on tickets, concessions, and all the merch you need. Check out membership opportunities and experience baseball your way at twins.com/mytwins. Ozzie Albies 1 for 1. Albies now 28 years old, and he's in the final year of a 7-year contract he signed back in April of 2019. Braves have club options for the next 2 seasons. Signed out of Curacao. A switch hitter, but late last season he abandoned his left-handed swing at times. If he was, facing even a position player, even a knuckleballer, he would hit only right-handed. Pops up to shallow center. Correa out. Buxton in, and the center fielder taking charge. Good communication there. And 2 down here for Ryan in the 3rd inning. So back-to-back innings, 2 up, 2 down.
You gotta love guys when they're playing defense where everybody wants the ball. You got a couple of Gold Glovers, Platinum Glove, going after it. It's a lot better than everyone kind of standing around looking at each other and watching that thing fall in between.
Now Harris as Ryan misses low. Georgia native Michael Harris II, a diehard Braves fan growing up. I mentioned this story last night that for his high school graduation, he wore a Braves jersey to his high school graduation. To right down the line, that will turn and travel foul off the net.
High school graduation, I walked at the end because I skipped school the day of the rehearsal and went to AAA Vancouver Canadians baseball game. And then my mom at the ceremony was not happy with me because she didn't know that I skipped school to go to a baseball game. And she thought that I wasn't going to graduate because it was alphabetical, went all the way to the end.
It's a fair ball for Michael Harris II. Well, it's a good thing he went to his ceremony because he has a 2-out double, and this Braves inning continues with a 3-0 lead. Interesting. So Justin Morneau was not at his high school graduation ceremony. Instead went to a baseball game, but it did work out in the end, right? Worked out for you and your family.
Eventually I figured out all that stuff you have to learn in school.
But you're saying, hey, but go to your graduation ceremony, right? You are saying, please attend.
Make your mom happy.
Make your mom happy. That's Morneau's message here on Easter Sunday. Love you, Mom.
Hopefully my kids aren't listening to this.
Yeah, that's going to have some mileage on it.
They're all hopped up on sugar right now anyway. The Easter Bunny made its way, so.
0-1 on Drake Baldwin. #1 prospect for the Braves. Produced the game-winning hit here on Friday. This one is trouble. Left field corner deep. Bader turning, and that is gone. Atlanta loves his bat, and that's wide. Another 2-out, big swing. This one from the rookie Baldwin. His second home run, and the Braves have a 5-0 lead here in the third inning.
Pretty warm today. Ball seems like it's carrying really well. It's 135 start. Fastball up and away, just goes with the pitch, and that'll tell you how strong he is. Didn't look like he was cheating in any way, leaning over there trying to drive it that way. He just let his hands fly and hit it off the good part of the bat. A little lower wall right by that Twins bullpen and left.
Yeah, Atlanta, interesting spot right now with their catchers because Sean Murphy is back from a rib injury, and he's performing well at the plate. They think highly of Baldwin. So is he better suited up here? Will get an occasional start, maybe once, twice a week, because Ozuna's the DH. Or would he be better off regular playing time in the minor leagues? Well, right now he's making the most of this opportunity. Just hit his second home run.
That's the balance of, are you learning? Have you done everything you can do at the minor league level? Is there nothing left to learn down there? I think for a catcher it's a little different because you're always working, you're always figuring out how to handle a pitching staff, how to make it through a game, and you're always evolving, but at the same time learning at the big league level and learning from other catchers. You know, they kind of work in tandem, go through the scouting reports, everything they're going to do.
Strike 3, and Allen strikes out for the second time today. But Ryan again, first two guys retire, but then trouble. Braves at 2, Twins down 5. Well, if you missed it yesterday, Pablo Lopez on a rehab assignment with a bad hamstring did start for St. Paul on the road at Iowa. Pitch count, Twins are hoping to get around 65 pitches. He threw 63 into the 5th inning. No walks, he struck out 4, allowed 1 earned run, 4 2/3 innings for Pablo. And as he made that rehab start yesterday, Twins are off tomorrow, host the White Sox for 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The Twins have announced their first 2 starters, Bailey Ober Tuesday, David Festa Wednesday, TBA on Thursday. Could that be Pablo? Sure. It would line up with his outing yesterday. We'll wait and see if that's how it plays out, though. This week is Ty France to shallow center. This will be routine for Michael Harris II, and there's out number 1. One more note, by the way, and I love when veterans do this, when they're on a rehab assignment. Often they will take care of the post-game spread, and my understanding is that the Saints players had sushi galore. It was a sushi palooza down in Iowa, and that was all thanks to Pablo Lopez. So much so that sushi carried into breakfast this morning. That's how much sushi Pablo Lopez purchased and took care of his teammates and staff at AAA St. Paul last night.
It's always fun going down there and remembering what it was like to be in the minor leagues and what you appreciated when those veteran guys came around. So the food has improved drastically since I was down there a long time ago.
A swing here for Trevor Larnach. There's a base hit to right. Kelnick cuts it off. And Larnach has the second Twins hit off Holmes here today. Will become a My Twins member for free with a starter membership. My Twins members get rewarded for their fandom by earning points for experiences, merchandise, concession credits, and so much more. Enroll right now at twins.com/mytwins. As Correa laces a base hit to left. So the Twins have 2 on for the second straight inning. And Morty, if the Twins are going to get back in it, this has to happen now. Already down 5 here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, I think it's just stringing hits together. You're down by a bunch, so it's you see Larnach with the single, Correa with the single, making him work a little bit. It's been pretty comfortable for the most part out there on the mound. Did get out of a little bit of a jam last inning with 2 outs, but back-to-back, start stacking those good at-bats, one on top of each other.
Look out, and Jeffers got hit 95 in. So the bases are loaded, and Jeffers needs a moment here.
Ooh, was that top of the hand? That missed the elbow pad?
Watching it, and we're broadcasting from the clouds here, but watching it, it looked like, I thought elbow pad initially, but looking at the replay, it looked like it cleared that.
And the way he's standing there, I think, normally we see Rocco and a member of the training staff come out pretty quickly, but I think they thought it got his elbow with the sound, but that was solid, I think, off his hand on the bat. When that bat's holding, or your hand's holding onto that bat, there's nowhere for it to go.
Kind of pointing that out to Ramon Borrego. Remember Jeffers against the Tigers, previous homestand Friday night, took a ball off of his right thumb.
Oh, his wrist. That got him good.
So now Nick Paparesta will head out with Rocco Baldelli as
he's been behind the dish for 66 pitches through 3 innings so far. Battling behind the plate, and you take one off the wrist like that. I think it's just something we see so much more common now with guys with the movement they're able to get on the pitches and how everyone pitches up at the top of the zone. You're trying to make hitters uncomfortable. Fastball up under the hands. Everyone seemingly learning a sinker now. And it feels so much more common to see guys get hit up and in. And then the max effort and delivery for most of the pitchers now. More concerned with speed and spin than necessarily location as much. See most of these hitters now wearing that protective flap on the helmet as well, protecting their face. Long conversation. Toughest guys in baseball behind the plate. He's going to wear it, and he's going to go out there and run the bases.
So Jeffers walked to first base, and then you see Ramon Borrego. He's the one that made that motion to have Rocco and Nick head out to check on their catcher.
But here's the game. This is the game right here. This is the opportunity, and of course it finds the rookie in the batter's box. Third big league game. Why not have a big hit with the bases loaded?
He has a chance to make some Twins history here today. He has an extra base hit in his first 2 games. No Twin has ever started his career with 3 straight games and an extra base hit in each of his first 3 games. Couple of doubles this weekend. 3 on, 1 out, and now a 2-0 count to Kershaw.
Well, he'd take a walk, a base hit, anything productive just to keep the line moving. Pass the baton to Brooks Lee.
Two balls and no strikes, and here comes Holmes and Kershaw. Now 2-1 on a cutter. Holmes has allowed just 1 hit all season long with a runner in scoring position. His ground ball rate is below league average. 2-2.
The 2-0 pitch was such a good pitch. Hasn't thrown too many cutters to the righties today. Just something to get back in the count. Luke looking out over the plate and maybe chase that cutter just a little bit and then follows it up with that slider.
Full count. Now Kershaw in the minor leagues last year, 80 strikeouts to 62 walks. Keen eye. Brooks Lee on deck. This is the 4th full count Holmes has had at a Twins batter today. Bases loaded, 1 out. Twins down 5, and the 3-2 pitch jammed him, and he punched it foul. Well, that was in on his hands.
Just giving himself a chance to cover Holmes' best pitch. That slider. So you got to give up something sometimes, and a lot of times that's on the inside part of the plate. And fight it off and live to see another pitch. But that's where that ball's got to start. If it's going to be a breaking ball, it's going to end up in the zone. It's got to start in off the plate.
And now time. Atlanta this season, the pitching staff against opposing teams with the bases loaded, they have yet to allow a hit. Opposing teams 0 for 10, 6 strikeouts against Atlanta with the bases loaded. Can Kershaw change that now? 3-2 pitch. We'll do it again.
We're going for the reverse jinx up here. I like it.
Yeah. Well, after what took place on the last homestand, yeah.
Corey with a K.
Anthony pulled just foul. Holmes approaching 60 pitches. Rocco and the Twins down 5. Opportunity last inning did not cash in. And again, here they are in the 4th. This is popped up on the infield. Infield fly is called, and Olsen makes the catch, and there are 2 down. So now it's up to Brooks Lee.
The momentum can swing right here. A big 2-out hit. Get it back to within 1 swing reach. You know, you 3-run homer, you can tie it up. So you need to get a couple in here.
In the dirt, kicks away from Baldwin, and Larnach will score. So the Twins are on the board on a wild pitch. Baldwin never had a chance, and Larnach is in. It's a 5-1 game.
We'll take runs any way you can get them at this point. We've seen a few of these. He really overcooked that one.
This would be the perfect opportunity for Lee to snap at 0 for 9. This one slicing foul left field line, and Verdugo nor Riley without a play. Well, Lee picked up his first RBI of the season. It was a 2-out base hit with a runner in scoring position.
First at bat of his year.
He's batting from this side of the plate, and a ground ball right up the middle. Waits for the 1-1 from Grant Holmes. In the air to right center field, but Harris on the move. Harris sprinting over. Harris gets there again. Deja vu all over again with that guy at this ballpark. Michael Harris II saved runs aplenty last night, saves 2 more here. Twins get 1, but still down 4.
Well, Michael Harris almost single-handedly ruined the Twins' chances of a win last night, and here he is today, another spectacular catch in center field. I talked to Byron Buxton about him earlier today, and he said that is center field for you. When things aren't going the way you want at the plate, you make a couple huge plays and then bam, you get a huge hit. It just seems to work one right after another. I've been there, I've done that, I've seen it happen. He added that, you just have to tip your cap to a guy like Michael Harris. He admits that he loves playing in games where he is going up against another elite center fielder. He said there's so much mutual respect. There's always the smiles, the nods, I see what you're doing, but a ton of respect regardless of what they're doing. He said, though, you hate to be on the wrong side of a spectacular defense in center, guys.
Audra, thanks. Michael Harris II was a third-round pick in 2019. His name I first heard in 2020 during the shortened COVID season. The Braves at their alternate site. Michael Harris II was not with the big league club. He was working out at the alternate site. And there was a guy by the name of Chipper Jones that had a chance to watch Michael Harris II just play with his other minor league teammates, and he stood out in a variety of ways to Jones and to many, and it wasn't long after that that this guy made his debut, I believe, in 2021. And he has made quite the impact again this weekend against the Twins. The 1-2 to Kelnick is inside 2-2.
Yeah, you can see why he would stand out. See the athleticism, the plays he's made, and then that monster home run he hit last night's ball game. A lot of things to like. He's still young. Got a lot of young and veteran players locked up on long-term deals here. Some of them what would be considered team-friendly. Acuna's deal, Albies deal. But there's a risk of locking up those guys when they're young. Sometimes it doesn't work out. But little bigger market like you have in Atlanta, you can afford to make a mistake or two on some of those.
And Ryan ties up Kelenic. Picks up his 4th strikeout, 1 down.
Anniversary savings of 73% off installation labor on all roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
So Ryan has retired the leadoff man 4 straight innings. In fact, it's been 2 up and 2 down each of his first 3 innings, but then trouble after that. All 5 of the Braves' runs so far with 2 outs, including a pair of 2-out, 2-run homers. Olsen in the first, and then Baldwin in the third. The 0-1-2 Verdugo. This one to right will send Larnach back in the alley. Larnach will find himself with room near the wall. And there are 2 down, so 2 out hits. That's been a storyline for the Braves here today morning. It began at the opening inning.
Yeah, it looked like he was cruising along, and a couple pitches didn't go his way. And then give Atlanta credit, they've been putting together good at-bats. They've been battling, threw a lot of fastballs in that first inning, and mixed it up a little bit since, but does not appear as if this will be his favorite list of ballparks to pitch in. Struggled here a couple years ago, and not off to the start he'd wanted here, but he's still out there battling.
To short, and Correa will make the play, and there is Joe Ryan's first 1-2-3 inning today.
Oh, here we go. 5-1. Braves leading the Twins. There's a familiar face. Matty Greer, number 54, sitting next to son Jack. A little TV time. Apparently something more interesting on the phone than whatever he's looking at. Oh, good to see Matty G, though. One of the best teammates I ever had. One of the funniest teammates I've ever had. Spent time together at AAA as well. Average golfer at best, though.
Average.
Average.
Okay. But boy, 76 games in 08, 79 appearances in 09.
He would take the ball any and every time you asked him, any situation. He was so valuable down there. That bullpen, he could go 2 1/3 if you need him to. He could come in and get big outs in the 8th.
And Bader takes the leadoff walk. I know his name comes up a lot. You're often asked about some of your favorite teammates, and Greer seems to come up and out of your mouth often.
Yes, it's just those guys that'll do anything for the team and want to be a part of the team, want to be a part of a winner. No excuses, but also enjoyed showing up to the ballpark every day and realize that it's a game and you're meant to have fun. And then when the red light turns on, it's time to flip that switch and go out there. And he was a gamer for sure. Like we just, especially with those teams we had so many guys around the same age, all kind of coming up together, growing up together. And 6 or 7 Bud Lights together. That's just for the start of the night.
Yeah, just to get going. Appetizer.
Oh, the good old days.
0-2 on Julian, who's 0 for 2 here today. Bader leadoff walk. Twins saw Clay Holmes with the Mets on Monday. Grant Holmes on this Sunday to wrap up the week. Off day tomorrow. White Sox at Target Field starting on Tuesday. And that strike 3 call. Julian had a point. Looked low. 4th strikeout for Holmes.
That was the pitch that in his first at bat starting off the game was called a ball twice. So once you think or you feel like that zone has been established, you expect it to be there all day. Ends up getting rung up on one close to the zone.
Buxton 2 at bats, 2 strikeouts. This one to right center field. That's a base hit. That's going to find the gap. Bader better run because Byron is not content with a single. On his way to second. Head first sliding double. And the Twins have second and third here in the 5th inning.
Got a little something cooking. You keep getting runners out there. It is one of the things that Twins hitters have done well so far coming into this game, hitting 260 as a team with runners in scoring position. Ty France, one of those guys, is off to a good start. Hit 364 himself, and Buxton continues to swing the bat well in his home state of Georgia. And he was thinking 2 all the way. Looking at the dugout. Let's go, boys.
Infield back, Ty France takes high. France is 0 for 2. There's Rick Kranitz, Braves pitching coach. Ball 2.
Good take.
Now France seeking his first hit in this series. 0 for 8. 364 though, with runners in scoring position. As Morty mentioned, he's been good. In spots like this, again, the Twins have a chance to get right back in this game. 3-0. And the Braves bullpen beginning to stir. Bader at third, Buxton at second. And there's a 4-pitch walk, and the Twins load him up for the second straight inning. So a third walk from Holmes, and here comes Kranitz. And Trevor Larnach is coming up. Twins TV is available through both linear and streaming options. Check out which cable and satellite providers carry Twins TV in your area by visiting the channel finder at twins.com/watch, or stream games in market with a Twins TV subscription available at twins.tv. Aaron Bummer. Twins saw him for many years with the White Sox. Veteran lefty warming up in the bullpen. Larnach's hit the ball hard twice. He lined out to right in the second, single to right in the fourth, scored the lone Twins run so far. Ball 1, tying run at the plate. Pulled foul.
Well, home run a couple nights ago. Came in the middle of the game yesterday, but Swings look a little better today. He was a little frustrated, I think, topping more balls into the ground than he'd like. Just trying to get that ball elevated, not necessarily in the air, just more line drives. Give yourself a better chance to get a hit.
Larnach has one grand slam in his big league career. It came in Denver, late September 2023 against the Rockies. And now time, as Holmes was just beginning his motion. Larnach asked for time rather late. Home plate umpire doesn't have to grant time. That's discretion. And that late time was indeed given to Larnach. Now we're set. And the 1-2. Check swing. No swing. Got him. 95. Right down the middle. Well, Larnach, you tell me, Morty, clearly looking for something else.
I think maybe it was more just how many breaking balls and how many sliders, curveballs he throws, starts at the bottom of the zone and end up below. And I think he was just trying to tell himself, get the ball up. Try not to chase below. He put something in play weakly on the ground. Just end up getting frozen by that fastball low. And I think there's the ability to tunnel pitches and make everything kind of look the same coming out of the hand. It was a good example of that. Breaking ball down, and then fastball off the same spot. We've seen a few of the Twins hitters have been frozen by fastballs in the zone like that today.
Second at bat this season for Correa. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and he's down 2 strikes. A 21 pitch inning for Holmes, but a strike away from stranding 3. Correa waits 0-2 here in the 5th. Foul ball. Asked Rocco Baldelli a question about 2-strike hitting today. I said, is 2-strike hitting a skill? He said, absolutely. To short, and Allen. He'll go to second base, and it's close, and forced out is Ty France to end the inning.
We're going to take a look at it in the Twins dugout, see if they want to challenge it, but I think this play is going to continue, or they're going to let it ride. Yep.
Play on, and the Twins do not challenge, and again cannot capitalize with the bases loaded. Remain down 4. want to send along happy Easter Sunday to all of you throughout Twins territory, especially the beautiful family of our director, Jordan Austin. Look at those two beautiful girls, Avery and Aubrey. And that is Avery, thrilled to be on Bunny's lap. But beautiful kids, beautiful family, beautiful swing. Marcell Ozuna, and an ugly result. 6-1 Braves. Ozuna's fourth. Hey, Avery, if you're crying before, not too good right now.
We went to that sinker. He's thrown it a couple of times to Ozuna so far. Ozuna looked like he went up there hunting a fastball, something he could turn on. Velo down on that one, 89.9. We saw 95 earlier in this start. You wonder if that 31 pitch first inning had an impact on it. 27 pitches in the third. Not a lot of time in between after that first inning. Twins had a 8-pitch inning themselves, so Joe sat over there for about 3 minutes and right back out there on the mound, and looks like fastball velo down, maybe running out of gas just a little bit, but frustrating outing.
Now, Ryan, you mentioned that this ballpark was a nightmare for Joe 2 years ago. Allowed 5 home runs. Here he is again today. He's allowed 3 homers in 4+ innings.
Well, you just think how different this game would look if the Twins were able to, those last 2 innings, just push one across even. The runner on third, less than 2 outs. Just get one of those guys in. Yes, they scored one on a wild pitch, but those are the ones that really come back to get you. Opportunities to make a productive out, hit the ball in the air to the outfield, and just get one more, make it that much closer.
And Olson got hit. It's the 5th batter Ryan has hit this season. So ahead with 2 strikes, but puts Olson on for the 2nd time today. Yeah, there's an argument about batting average and how much value is there in batting average. Does it tell the full story of how a hitter is performing? And it probably doesn't, but there's still, to me, a place for batting average in the game. I think back to these last 2 innings where, yes, you love home runs, you love doubles, but you'll take a single anytime you can when you have situations like the Twins had the last 2 innings with, runners in scoring position. A single leads to runs.
Yeah, I think it's tough when you're not hitting the ball out of the ballpark, especially the way the Twins have been used to the last few years. Only 15 home runs on the year. So yes, I think there is value in that, of course. And situation where you're down a bunch, sometimes hitting a home run takes all the momentum out of it and lets that pitcher settle back in. Nobody on base, kind of cleans the slate for him a little bit. And when there's continuous traffic and you're just piling up those hits, it's frustrating.
As Albie strikes out, first out here for Ryan in the 5th inning on his 5th strikeout. The Twins entering play last night. Yeah, the run scoring 3.5 per game, 26th in baseball, but batting average 27th, on base percentage 27th. And we've seen more of the same here, sadly, this weekend. Michael Harris the second. Doubled and scored his last time up. He's also bounced out today. Twins bullpen is quiet. Sharply hit. Julian picks, stumbles, finds his footing, throws to second, and Correa kept the foot on the bag for the force on Olson.
Ball hit hard. Good play by Julian. Gives himself a little room, opens up glove side, then make sure he sets the feet, understanding he's not going to turn 2 on that play. Harris's speed and how far that first throw was. Correa does a good job of holding the bag.
107 off the bat, but Julian made the play, get the lead man, and now Harris aboard. And here's Drake Baldwin. And a home run to left his last time up. That was a 2-out, 2-run homer. And speaking of 2-out hitting, Atlanta, Coors Light beating the pressure. That's been the story for the Braves offense today. 5 of their 6 with 2 outs. 7 of their 8 hits with 2 outs. Harris runs and the pitch is high. Jeffers to second and the tag applied, not in time. And stolen base number 4 for Michael Harris the second. Good throw from Jeffers. Quick tag from Correa, but Harris's speed wins out.
Good pitch to throw on up in the zone. Correa with that quick tag, as you mentioned. Too good of a jump.
So Ryan now at 90 pitches. And I would imagine that this young man might have the green light with the way he's swinging the bat. Strike 1.
Almost same location he went oppo. That home run. A 2-0 sweeper.
Baldwin is a Madison, Wisconsin native. Three and 2.
Yeah, good hockey player growing up. Big kid standing down there on the field yesterday for BP. Surprised how big he is for a guy back behind the plate.
Rolls it over to Julian, and Eddie throws him out, and the inning is over, but the Braves add one more on a Marcell Ozuna solo home run, 6-1 after 5. Well, the Twins have had opportunities against Grant Holmes today, but that clutch key hit hasn't been there. Twins have left 7 on the last 3 innings. And Holmes has allowed just 1 earned run, 3 walks. He has struck out 5. Likely his last inning. As Ryan Jeffers will lead off. Jeffers 0 for 1 was hit by a pitch in the 4th.
He's done a good job of moving the ball around the zone. And then a lot of those breaking balls he's thrown have been at the bottom or below the zone.
He's induced now 9 swing and misses today. Many of them with his slider, which, as we said at the top, among the best sliders going in the game. Eniel De Los Santos is now warming up, righty. And Jeffers fights off that slider. Atlanta will stay home. The Cardinals are in town for 3 starting here tomorrow night. Just outside, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. One down. 6th strikeout for Holmes. So Keyshaw coming up, but first let's step out and hear this message from Blaze Credit Union.
Dan Stoltz here with Tony Oliva. You're a Hall of Famer. You blazed a trail, and that's what we want to do at Blaze Credit Union.
100% Blaze is Minnesota. Go Blaze!
Well, all the sliders, all the breaking balls, everything he's throwing, 6 strikeouts, 4 of them for the Twins today on fastballs. So just really done a good job of keeping him off balance, mixing all his pitches, throwing 2 different breaking balls, one off of the other. A little different shape, a little more depth on the curveball. Slider's a little bit harder, and then with that cutter on top of it. Fastball's got some life.
And maybe going against the scouting report, right? Because maybe you're focused in on, okay, slider, look out for that. That's a swing and miss pitch. He had 5 strikeouts with his slider in his last start. Holmes is aware of that.
Getting him set up as well, you know, how you get there matters. I mean, you look at Julian's at bat, it was a mixture of the sliders and the curveballs and everything else, and then he just froze him with the fastball. And the last thing you were looking for, okay, this is what he did, as you said, in his last start. This is probably what he's going to do against us. And then you're going through the at-bat, one breaking ball after another, and all of a sudden he just sneaks 95 in there.
Three and 2 on Keyshaw. DH'd on Friday, second base last night, DHing again today. And there's ball 4, so he draws a walk. And again, the Twins have a man on, the 4th walk from Holmes. We'll see what Snitker will do. Well, Atlanta, this place is a great venue. They pack them in here. That will be the case again, certainly this summer in July, as Atlanta will host the All-Star Game. Home Run Derby, all the festivities will take place here at Truist Park. All-Star Game was in Atlanta in 1972, again in 2000 at Turner Field, but now Truist Park will host the All-Star Game July 2025. One ball, one strike on Brooks Lee. He was 0 for 2 today, 0 for his last 10. And a good swing his last time up, but Michael Harris II ran down a line drive in the right center field alley that saved a couple of runs. There's Harris. 1 and 2 on Lee.
This could be a completely different series if they had somebody else out there in center field. Well hit balls, runners on base, situations where runs would have scored. Harris has played really good defense so far.
And Lee strikes out, top of the zone fastball. 2 down.
105 pitches, that'll be the end of his day. And he ends up getting the call that Joe Ryan didn't get earlier in the ball game. That did clip the box.
Holmes struck out 7, and 6 of the 7 were called strike threes. Gets a big hand as he departs here in Atlanta. The Braves on top by 5. Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Thrivent, where finances and generosity are the ultimate double play. There's the great Bobby Cox, Hall of Fame manager. Statue here in Atlanta. Braves have a 6-1 lead. Pitching change as Enyel De Los Santos is on to throw right now for the Braves.
More sliders than fastballs to the right-handed hitters. Does have a changeup as well. Fastball is going to average about 96 miles an hour.
De Los Santos, high ERA on the road. Nothing yet at home. 3 1/3 scoreless innings at home. First year with the Braves. Twins have seen him over the years. Cleveland a couple of years. White Sox, Phillies. And Bader could not hold back. It's 1-2.
That's that slider again. 88 miles an hour. That's his best pitch. Hitters haven't done a whole lot with that this year.
Keyshaw at first, 2 down. Down 5. Don't think he's running. He stays. And Bader just outside at 97. Announced crowd today, 31,889. To third, Riley. Kicks up in the air and down to second. Advances Keyshaw. Rare miscue from Austin Riley at third base. And let's see if the Twins again can capitalize here with 2 on.
See if this goes down as a hit or not. Atlanta has not had an error on a fielded ball yet this year. All their errors have come on throwing mistakes. That one there will go down as an error. So they were 1 game away from setting the all-time record.
So Riley with the error, and now Julian.
Just one big swing from being right back in this thing.
The Braves have allowed a home run in 12 straight games. That matches a franchise record. Nothing yet today from the Twins in terms of home runs. But here are the Twins again, runners in scoring position. 0 for 8 last night, 0 for 6 today. Julian ahead 2-1. This one cued. Riley will have another chance here. Charging, fielding, throws him out. Off the end of the bat, Julian grounds out to Riley, and again the Twins put some runners on but cannot come up with a big hit. Down 5. Twins baseball is powered by MLB. Day game after a night game, so no freeze run last night, but with a day game today, there he is, and only a matter of time, and the freeze caught that fan and raced by him, and the freeze successful once again, running foul pole to foul pole, and picks up the win. Andy Julian on the charge, throws out Nick Allen with Louis Varland taking over for Ryan here in the 6th inning.
Well, Louis has adjusted well to the bullpen. Saw right there, 98 miles an hour on the fastball. The curveball's been a really good pitch for him. Also this year, the 15 strikeouts, that's what stands out in 10 innings. You figure there's going to be a bump in the velocity and the stuff when you move out to the bullpen, and there definitely has.
Lefties have hit him harder than righties. You'll see a lefty now, and Jared Kelnick, who's 1 for 2 today, a single, a run, and a strikeout. That's popped up. And Correa and Julian. It'll be Correa in right center. There is out number 2. Let's dissect a bit more Louis Varland stuff. Statcast 3D is powered by Google Cloud.
There was a lot of talk about pitch tunneling, basically just trying to get the different pitches to come out of your hand in the same spot and look very similar coming out of the hand. And four-seam fastball, when it's 98, he pairs it with that curveball that we've seen anywhere from 88 to 91. And that'll tell you the jump going out to the bullpen. Take another look at it here. The average fastball velocity this year, 98.2. The whiff, the swing and miss. Climbing, and got the stuff, and just going to continue to learn how to adjust, how to be ready to pitch every single day, getting off that starter's routine.
It was around this time last year that Varland was optioned out. Weak ground ball. Varland, good athlete, will tag out. Verdugo going by, and there's a quick inning for Louis Varland. 3 up, 3 down here in the 6th inning. Six-1 Braves, and we move to the 7th inning. 2, 3, and 4 coming up against Eniel De Los Santos, who recorded the final out in the 6th. Byron Buxton led off last night's game, will lead off this inning, but batting second in Rocco's lineup today. Now, Byron, after the game last night, mentioned in a post-game media session that, playing against the Braves is a big deal. Actually, Georgia native, he said, bragging rights in the offseason. It comes up often, and he's not had much to say the last couple of years with the fact the Braves swept the Twins in 2023, swept them in 2024, and are on the verge of it happening again now in 2025. 2-1.
Well, it's just after how well that series against the Mets went. One of the best teams in baseball. Twins fought hard and won 2 out of 3 there.
This one hammered to left center field, deep in the gap. Back it goes, and that is gone. First home run for Byron Buxton ever against his hometown team, the Atlanta Braves. And this is now a 4-run Twins deficit here in the 7th.
Well, he knew it right off the bat when he hit it 109.5 miles an hour. That ball jumps and continues to swing the bat well, piling up the extra base hits, running really well, driving the baseball. Yep, got it.
It's his 4th home run. So now updating that Braves note, they have allowed a home run in 13 straight games, and that is a franchise record, the Braves. Ty France rolls it to third, and Austin Riley throws out. France, who's now 0 for 3 today, and there is out number 1. Now that home run from Byron Buxton is powered by Treasure Island Resort and Casino. For every Twins home run hit to the Treasure Island home run deck, Treasure Island donates $2,500 to the Minnesota Twins Community Fund to support youth baseball and softball programs throughout Twins territory. Now, perhaps too late now, but I wonder if that's a ball he might want to have back. Just, yeah, it's a home run. Your team is down by 4 runs, but playing against the Braves here in Georgia, first time he'd ever homered against Atlanta. Hearted up the middle, Nick Allen. We've seen that pick all weekend. Good play.
His hands work. He made that look easy as well. The feet set up the hands, as I always like to say. And this ball's hit hard, so he retreats a little bit on it. Gives himself a chance to get the good hop. Short hop or long hop, and he played this into a short hop. You see the composure. Gives with that ball. No collision, no hard contact when it hits his glove. He has earned the playing time that he has got.
There's Carlos Correa. Going back to and seeing where Allen was positioned, you're playing percentages. You're playing guys. Yes, you can't completely shift anymore. You can still shade. And moving the shortstop up the middle, playing percentages. Where is Larnach hitting the ball when it's on the ground? It's more up the middle than it has been, say, in the hole. It's short or even down the third base line, so they'll move the third baseman Riley over. But then the shortstop Allen up the middle, just based on Larnach's spray chart.
Yep. Setting him up, giving yourself the best chance to succeed. And when he hit it hard like Larnach did, 103 off the bat.
It's a 1-1 count. I think there's confusion about the first pitch.
Whether it was a foul ball or not. Yeah,
and I think that's what the Braves dugout was wondering, and we could hear Ramos say, no, it wasn't. So it's a 1-1 count on Carlos Correa, and now it's 1-2. Joan Duran hasn't thrown yet in this series. Got the sense he was going to throw from Rocco at some point today, regardless the score. We're hoping for a save situation. Duran looks like he'll have the bottom half of the inning. And Correa strikes out looking. Twins get 1 on Buxton's 4th home run, but down 4 as we stretch. It's a 6-2 Braves lead on this Easter Sunday. Been a struggle for the Twins here this weekend and this season, in danger of falling to 7-15, but still at the ballpark on this Easter Sunday. And we keep it here as we await God Bless America from Atlanta.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Wow, a wonderful rendition of God Bless America here in Atlanta. The other day we brought you all the ultimate Twins reliever, put together by having each bullpen guy vote on who has the best fastball, curveball, so on and so forth. Well, that started a really entertaining conversation, so we have some more superlatives. The biggest comedian of the bullpen is Cole Sands. The best dressed is Jhoan Duran, and the most likely to become a coach after his career is Danny Coulombe. Now, those three were unanimous across the board when it comes to those categories. Now, when it comes to most likely to become a broadcaster after his career, that goes to Louie Varland, which I will say got a couple chuckles from some of his teammates and a big chuckle from Louie Varland. When it comes to the biggest cheerleader, the biggest hype man, Danny Coulombe took home that award, as well as the bullpen dad, the guy who keeps everybody in line. That is Danny Coulombe. And the most likely to miss the bus, all that one goes to Jorge Alcala. I will say, though, Louie Varland was a close second in that case as well. And guys, the one I thought was interesting is I asked who was the most serious, the most focused guy. Every bullpen guy voted for somebody different. So everybody had one vote. There was no clear winner on that one. So clearly some guys who are pretty intense out there, but when it comes to Cole Sands, the biggest comedian, that one was across the board, not only in the bullpen guys, but in the clubhouse as well.
Audra, thanks. Interesting, as Jhoan Duran was on that list, and he will work here in the 7th inning. Any initial reaction to that list from the bullpen guys we just saw?
The last list we did, Danny Coulombe voted himself for nastiest pitch of every pitch in the bullpen. So I wonder how many votes Danny had for himself and that one. No, it's all good fun. But to hear Varland, potential media, I think the reaction for every one of my teammates,
stunned,
would have been the exact same had
stunned.
you put my name on that list about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You just never know where this game's going to take you. Those guys spend so much time together down there, the bullpen guys. It's a mix of so many different personalities. You need somebody who can make you laugh. You need somebody who can get you locked in. You need somebody who can build you up. And it seems like Coulombe answers a lot of those.
So Jhoan Duran on for the first time here in this series, 100 up and in on Austin Riley. It was an RBI single in 3 at-bats today. Hit to right center, and Buxton will get there. And 1 out. So Varland a 1-2-3-6, and now Duran here for the 7th.
Duran, the middle part of this lineup, 2, 3, 4 hitters. Day off tomorrow. Try to keep this game where it is. You're still one swing away from being able to tie this thing up. You load the bases, grand slam.
Marcell Ozuna's had a good day. He's been on twice. He has scored 2 runs, a walk, a homer. towards the hole. Correa down to his feet. Will skip it across, and Ozuna is out number 2. So a couple of hard-hit balls. Buxton ran down Riley's line drive, and now Correa makes the play on Ozuna. So 2 away. Hope you can create unforgettable memories with your group at Target Field. Youth sports teams, schools, churches, and more can enjoy exclusive group ticket benefits like no fees. Plus, groups of 20 or more are eligible for special ticket discounts. For more information, check out twins.com/groups. Matt Olson with the home run today. His 3rd. Waves and misses.
Is that considered a sword?
That would be a sword. From the pitching ninja, Rob Friedman.
The last time you hear me say that.
1-1. There's 101 for strike 2.
Maybe it's more important to pitchers. Maybe pitchers like that better. But as a hitter, you go, man, I got fooled. I'm going to get fooled. I'm going to look goofy every once in a while at the plate.
Yeah, I could see why. Yeah, pitchers enjoy that. Seeing a poor swing induced by a nasty pitch. And so not that time. 2-2.
If you're a hitter who's worried about looking bad, then it's going to be a rough run for you. It's one thing you can't be too worried about. Everyone would love to take their best swing at every pitch they swing at, but the pitching is good. Their job is to make you look bad.
Well, Matt Olson does something pretty cool for every Braves home game. A family impacted by autism is invited to enjoy a complimentary, sensory-friendly game experience here at Truist Park. And the seats are made possible by the man of the plate for every home game. That's a really neat gesture by an all-star player, Gold Glove winner. And Duran strikes him out with a fastball at 100.
Taking a look at our Progressive upcoming schedule. Things wrap up this afternoon in Atlanta. Then it's an off day for the Twins before they kick off a 6-game homestand at Target Field. It's 3 games against the White Sox, a team the Twins took 2 out of 3 against earlier this season. Then 3 against the Angels. Finally back on the road for another Central Division showdown, this time against the Cleveland Guardians, and a visit to historic Fenway Park as well. So busy stretch here coming up, so that off day tomorrow will be welcomed here for the Twins, guys.
Audra, thank you. As Pierce Johnson takes over for Atlanta here in the 8th inning, Ryan Jeffers leads off. And there's strike 1. The Twins last year, remember, they began the season 7-13. Then the 12-game winning streak happened with that stretch of consecutive games against the White Sox and Angels. And as we just saw there, White Sox, Angels up next for the Twins. Now the Angels, better team, much better team this year than they were last year, 10-10.
I think the White Sox team we saw at the start of the year looked better than what we saw at the end of last year too. And obviously different going through a season like they had. You're going to run out of gas. The optimism of spring training was still there when we were in Chicago.
And White Sox have some good-looking young starting pitching. You know, that is what stood out to me from that first series. And even with Martin Perez, and Twins won't see him, he's injured. But some arms that you could see, okay, this is the foundation that the White Sox are going to build around. And we saw some of those guys not too long ago.
Yeah, I think we heard there's a few more guys coming in the minor leagues as well. All the trades they've made over the last few years trying to rebuild that thing.
2-2 on Jeffers, and he strikes out. Twins catching tandem, I mentioned this earlier, just not much in terms of offense so far this season. The Twins do not have a home run yet from any catcher, and they are one of 3 teams entering play without a home run from any catcher. The White Sox being one team, the Giants being the other. Luke Keyshaw, he's been on twice today, a single and a walk. Pierce Johnson, former first-round pick by the Cubs in 2012. It's a fastball there to Keyshaw, but Johnson, 71% breaking ball. Curveball.
Yeah, Keyshaw hit it well last night. Michael Harris made a great play on him, just right of center field towards that Braves bullpen.
Avoid that guy. He won't. 2 down. Well, suites at Target Field can accommodate groups of all sizes. Luxury boxes are great for groups as small as 16 or as large as 100. Even more, plus food and beverage are included. Visit twins.com/suites to find the right one for you. Two down for Brooks Lee. Well, for 3 today, hitless over his last 11 at bats.
Yeah, what do you do? A guy throws 71% curveballs. Of course, he throws you two straight fastballs.
Don't you think that played into Grant Holmes' success today at times, maybe defying the scouting report, defying what he'd been throwing and when?
He did a good job of mixing up the pitches.
And 95 strikes out Lee, and the Twins go down quickly here in the 8th inning. Braves coming up to bat in the home half of the 8th inning, and Danny Coulomb is out for the second time in this series. Danny threw a scoreless inning on Friday night.
Yeah, to pull number 54 down off the rafters. Let him wear that number. We saw Matty G made that number big in Minnesota attending today's game. Showed him earlier, Matty Greer. But Danny Coulomb has been very good. No earned runs on the year, obviously. Stands out.
First pitch, Ozzie Albies pops it up, and Correa will call it and catch it. So one away, and that'll bring up Michael Harris II. And Harris II has put on a defensive show all weekend long, beginning morning on Friday night.
Yeah, he's got Buxton a couple of times. Buck with the old hat dip. And that was again on Buxton. That one there on Keishel. Having that familiarity with your home ballpark, knowing when that wall is going to creep up on you. Feeling like you can still go full speed when you run that far, and understand you're not going to get hammered by the wall as you reach up for that ball. So the awareness matters, but great athlete out there running it down.
Harris 2 for 16 this season against left-handed pitching. The Twins bullpen back to one lefty now, and that is Coulomb, with Cody Funderburk sent out to AAA. He cleared a roster spot for Brock Stewart, who debuted last night. Two balls and a strike on Michael Harris II. Slice to left, and Harrison Bader. Proper footwork and a two-hand catch. And two down here in the 8th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Minnesota Twins, and it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins.
Now Drake Baldwin, his first start in this series. Braves #1 prospect, rookie, 24 years old. There's a home run today that came off Joe Ryan in the 3rd inning. Baldwin 1 for 10 against lefties. Right side, Julian plays the hop. He'll plant and throw him out. And Danny Coulomb follows Juan Duran with a 1-2-3 8th inning. Last chance for the Twins. Byron Buxton due up 3rd. Last chance for the Twins, down 4, top 9. Harrison Bader, he's been on 3 times today, 2 walks, and didn't reach on an Austin Riley fielding error. In the 6th, Pierce Johnson back out for the 9th inning, and after a 1-2-3-8, he starts Bader with strike 1. The Twins this season 0-13 when trailing after 8. Bader find his way on once again and try and ignite some rally here. This one flipped to the right side. Matt Olson chasing across the line. Olson with a basket catch. Made that look easy, Morney. I know it was not.
Yeah, just the way it spins, especially when it's off the end of the bat like that. You hear the communication right there. That's catcher telling him you got room. It's catcher's job to get out from behind home plate and move over towards the on deck circle and let him know if he's going to run into that wall or not. The dugout will tell you as well. The guy sitting over there on the bench will take a look up, look at the wall. You hear no, 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 or you got room.
One ball, one strike on Julian. 0 for 4 today, 0 for 7 in this series.
As frustrating as it's been, there has been a couple of positives here. You know, Buxton, the way he swung the bat, the way he's flying around the bases and moved ahead of Bobby Witt Jr. in overall sprint speed, that triple, and then scoring from first last night. Good to see him playing with a lot of life. Luke Keeschel as well, making his big league debut, looking like he belongs at the big league level.
I think fans at Target Field will enjoy watching him in person starting on Tuesday. 2-2 on Julian. Austin Riley makes the play on Julian, 2 down. Twins swept once this season. That came on the road in a National League ballpark to open the year. Twins were swept in St. Louis. And an out away from it happening again in a National League ballpark as well.
In a somewhat similar fashion, balls hit out to center field, and center fielder in that series, St. Louis, running balls down, taking a bunch of hits away.
Yeah, Victor Scott, second.
It's like almost like a carbon copy of that series.
Now Mason Wynn was great at short in that series. Yeah, the Cardinals had great defense to begin that series, and we have seen comparable D, even better from Atlanta. Last chance, Buxton, 2 for 4. Buxton now 30 career interleague home runs. Torrey Hunter has the most in team history with 33.
Yeah, that'll should fall shortly with how many more games you play in interleague play now. It used to be just a short stretch in June, and then the last few seasons spread over the entire league, which is a good thing in my opinion. Hard contact all over the place again. Extra base hits. Home run, 109 off the bat, 434 feet.
Back to the mound, and Johnson will lob it to first, and the Twins are swept in Atlanta once again. 11 straight losses to the Braves, and the Twins fall to 7-15 as the Braves complete the sweep with a 6-2 win over the Twins here in Atlanta. Twins are heading home off day Monday. White Sox in town starting a 3-game series on Tuesday night. Atlanta 6, Twins 2. Stay tuned. Twins postgame presented by Treasure Island is next on Twins TV.
Twins postgame show is presented by Treasure Island Resort and Casino. The Twins are ready to get out of Atlanta. A 6-2 loss here this afternoon. A tough all-around trip here to the Peach State. The Braves are picking up another win this afternoon means they have now beaten the Twins in 11 straight, dating back to 2019. Today, that 6-2 final also marks the first sweep of the season for the home team. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Twins Postgame. I'm Audra Martin. Much like it was last night, there were opportunities tonight for the Minnesota Twins. They had the bases loaded with one out in back-to-back innings, only able to put one run across the board. On the mound for the Braves was Grant Holmes, who did a good job keeping the Twins' bats at bay. And for more on his effort this afternoon, we go back up to the booth to Corey and Justin.
Audra, thanks. And Grant Holmes has been quite the story for Atlanta. A long-time minor league career, then emerged last year, some bullpens, some opportunities to start. And yes, the Twins saw him briefly out of the bullpen last year, but this time as a starter. And we saw the report on him before the game. Command, walk rate high, not too many strikeouts. And we thought it'd be more slider-driven today. But his fastball had the Twins off balance really throughout his start today.
Yeah, he did a good job of what we used to call pitching backwards. A lot of breaking balls early in counts, and then he would finish at bats with his fastball. And when you come into an outing, guy you haven't faced a whole lot, you look at the report, you look at what he's doing, and he threw a ton of breaking balls to Julian in that first at bat, and then was able to get that fastball in there. So I think it went up there with a plan, and he just changed the plan just a little bit as the at bats went along. He was kind of reading what the game was telling him in front of him, and I think for a guy who walked for the third time this season, you figured the Twins were going to be able to take advantage of it. But once again, much like last night's ball game, the runners in scoring position was really the difference in this ball game.
0 for 7, the Twins in that category today. So combine that with last night, 0 for 15 runners in scoring position these last two games. So what? Monday against the Mets, Clay Holmes. Today, Grant Holmes and Watson. It has been anything but elementary this week against these Holmes guys. I'll tell you what. So the Twins lose. Audra, hopefully better results are coming for the guys back at Target Field on Tuesday.
Take us home.
Never change, Corey. Never change. Well done. All right, yeah, tough way to end things here in Atlanta. When we come back to our post-game show, we'll head into the clubhouse to see how Rocco Baldelli would sum up another tough loss here for the Twins to start this season. Twins post-game show is presented by Treasure Island Resort and Casino, Minnesota's destination fun. The Braves taking down the Twins with a sweep this weekend, a 6-2 final this afternoon as this quick trip to Atlanta comes to a close for the Twins. Anytime they play here in Atlanta, it's a special weekend for Byron Buxton. The hometown kid, if you will, had a good couple of games here. The last two, in fact, 2 for 5 here this afternoon with a double and a home run. 3 for 4 last night with a triple. Had a couple of RBI on the afternoon as well. So Byron Buxton, the Buck Truck, getting it done. All facets of the game. Taking a look at our game summary, it was a tough afternoon for Joe Ryan. 2 outings here inside Truist Park, and both have been tough goes for Joe Ryan. 5 innings of work, 6 earned runs on 8 hits, a couple of home runs, and those 5 strikeouts as well. But a big day for Byron Buxton and the rookie Luke Keeschel continuing to deliver here with a single. Now hits in 3 straight games to start his big league career. Let's head into the clubhouse now. We're waiting to hear from manager Rocco Baldelli, but Joe Ryan is speaking with the media. So let's hear how he would sum up his second outing here in Atlanta.
I don't know. Yeah, just wasn't going where I wanted to, and yeah, missed some spots, and they made me pay there. I think it's just always an adjustment there. I mean, I don't want to make too many excuses, but when the balls change, it just gets a little, trying to make some adjustments there, and they're running a little bit more or sinking a little bit more, and just got to make those adjustments in game. So.
Your left-handers seem to give you a particular problem.
Yeah, I just kind of got away from the plan today and didn't get there, so yeah, it's part of it. I mean, they made some good adjustments, got some good hits too, so that's part of it too. Did make some good splits, and yeah, they got some hits there, but yeah.
Do you feel the need when you go out there, like, I got to turn this around, I've got to change what's going on here? The way the season has gone so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that makes it even just more frustrating. It's just, yeah, not going our way right now, and so I want to go out there and have a good outing every 5th day, and to have a bad one like this definitely sucks. But I don't know. There's definitely some good things I'm seeing, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah.
Please elaborate.
Oh, I mean, I still think Eddie's doing some good things on defense. He made a great play today, and Buck's out there doing his thing. Ty's doing his thing. I mean, guys are looking good and playing hard. Having Brooks up here is a huge asset. So, you know, Bader's always going to go hard. So it's just having good guys out there makes it a lot easier. But sometimes it doesn't go our way.
You mentioned home runs aren't your thing. Last time you were here, you gave up 5.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, it's a couple years ago, but yeah, lately it's been the ground ball. I think it's just getting used to the weather again, right? Some of those balls, I thought I mean, maybe I sound like an idiot, but the Olsen one, I was like, oh, it's maybe a double or something hard. Buck's gonna grab it, and like it seemed really close to my head when it was leaving, and just kept going. But he's a amazing hitter and strong guy, so yeah, got out of here quick. But yeah, the other one kind of the same thing too. I was like, I missed my spot looking back on it, but yeah, just the ball's carrying a little bit more right now.
And the Baldwin one, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of middle-ish. So yeah.
You probably would like to get some run support there when you load the base a couple times.
I mean, that's on me. I think guys are tired. It's a hot day today, and if I'm out there grinding and throwing a bunch of pitches, they're going to get tired too. So I think if we have some quicker, more efficient innings, I think we score some more runs.
Yeah, it was 31 in the first.
It's a lot.
First inning, it kind of set you back a little bit.
Probably. I mean, who knows? I got a new shirt rolling in, so we'll see. Don't get so hot out there.
You're up to 96, I think, at one point.
I don't know. I felt good, but yeah, it's annoying.
There's more coming your way from Atlanta when we come back to the post-game show. It's time for Rocco Baldelli to hit the mic, so don't go anywhere. That's next. It was a hot one today in Atlanta, so that looks absolutely refreshing. A tough one, though, for the Twins. Now 8 games below 500 for the first time since the end of the 2021 season. Time to head into the clubhouse now. Here's Rocco Baldelli.
It was a challenging day all the way around today for us. Had some opportunities offensively, got some guys on, worked some at-bats, drew some walks, had some well-struck balls. But we know when the guys get out there and they're on the bases and in position, got to bring them around. And it's not the entire story, but it matters, and it's a big story.
Bases loaded twice, and you only got the wild pitch.
Yeah.
Does there come a time where you look around and everyone is kind of looking around like, what's going on?
Well, everyone wants to do something. Maybe you want to do something so bad that gets harder to do. But we can't worry about what happened last week or what happened yesterday. And when we show up on Tuesday, really, even you can't play the game worried. You can't play the game concerned that you didn't get it done last time. This is a forward-looking game, and we have to continue to work hard. Listen, this has not been an easy go of it by any means, and we're going to have to continue to fight offensively to find ourselves and to work through it, to figure it out, and to score runs.
Do you think that's happening? Guys worried about what they just failed to do rather than looking at it?
That can be a natural thing. I don't think that maybe I can't speak for the mindset of each individual player, but frustration, it can build sometimes. I can't tell you that's why we're not getting it done, though. The guys are going up there and getting on and finding a way to make something happen, start some sort of rally, get something going. This series, though, we just didn't have the swings and the balls in play in those spots to find any grass and to find any space when we needed it.
What did you see from Joe? I mean, 31 pitches in the first inning. He got deeper than you would have thought after that, but still it seemed like he struggled early there.
Yeah. Joe wasn't as sharp as he normally would be. He's normally an excellent strike thrower, and he can put the ball, especially his fastball, where he wants it. And I think there were a handful of at-bats today where the ball probably wasn't being located the way that he normally would. He's normally very sharp. He has a great season going right now for us. He's pitched very well, and I can't say anything about his season except he's looked good. And today they hit a few balls good, and also I think the ball was kind of around the zone. And maybe not sticking it where he normally sticks it.
10 strikeouts again today. It's 23 in the last 2 games. I mean, I'm sure you'd probably like to put the ball in play a little bit more than that.
Yeah, well, we haven't had really a strikeout problem this year. It's not really about swing and miss or anything like that. We need to just keep hitting balls hard, and when we get guys on, continue to have those good quality at bats. That those types of at bats amount to runs. They cause runs. You find sometimes a way to put the ball in play. Just barreling balls up is what you want. So yes, we struck out a little bit more than normal this series, last 2 days especially. We faced the Cy Young type arm yesterday. And all the Braves guys on their staff have good stuff. So you might strike out a little bit, but you can still score runs when striking out. And that's not a season-wide issue for us.
And with that, the Twins have fallen to 7-15 on the season. They'll look to right the ship on Tuesday night, kicking off a 3-game series against the visiting Chicago White Sox. It's a sweep at the hands of the Braves. The Braves with their first sweep of the season. It was a tough one this weekend in Atlanta, so we look forward to seeing you back in the comforts of home field advantage. All right, everyone, we appreciate you joining us. This is Audra Martin. We'll see you next time from Target Field.